Okay. Great. All right, the glasses are on, which means we're starting. Good evening. Does everybody know me? I'm Meredith Jacobs, and I am proud to serve on the Bender JCC Board of Directors. And I've got to say, it is such a special honor to be chairing tonight because my two very dear friends are passing the leadership gavel from Heidi to Dale. And I have to tell everyone, my friendships with Heidi and Dale are because of this board and this organization. I remember when I was asked to join the board, and I looked at the list of who were members of the Board of Trustees, and I thought, these are amazing people. These are just really nice, wonderful people, and I want to be a part of this, and I want to get to know them better. And at the time, I didn't even think I had such a connection with the JCC. But then I thought about it, and I realized how much the Bender JCC has been a part of my family's life, really since my children were born. My kids didn't go to preschool here, but we went to the Mommy and Me baby music classes. My kids didn't go to the camp, but this is where they learned how to swim. I remember standing in the hallway and looking over the glass windows down at the pool and watching them. I can't even tell you how many countless Monday nights I spent sitting in my car in the parking lot waiting for the BBYO meetings to let out. And of course, both of them did the after-school art classes. But it's not just about my kids. When I was in my early 30s, I remember taking classes here for me, the Melton classes, the Jewish Leadership Institute classes that inspired me not only on my Jewish journey, but really on my Greater Washington Jewish communal journey. And I'll forever be grateful. And more recently, the JCC and my organization, JWI, has partnered on two really important programs, Men as Allies and She Says, that are making a difference and shaping community. You know, community is what the JCC is all about. The JCC is truly where the expansiveness of our Jewish community comes together. And this past year, being on the board, continuing our meetings and our work as hard as it's been, but knowing that the organization we love was finding ways, big and small, to be there for the community was inspiring. So it's wonderful to join so many of us in person. I can't believe we're in person. I can't believe it, but I can believe it. And of course, those watching on the live stream to celebrate and honor the Bender JCC Board of Directors. I want to thank everyone who is continuing, everyone who is incoming, and all of those who are rolling off. The dedication and commitment of our board has never been more important, especially during these unprecedented and challenging times. And I'm also honored to share the podium tonight with the Bender JCC CEO, Josh Bender. I have to say, the search committee hit the ball out of the park with this one. Josh, you are truly the right person for the right job at the right time. And I am honored to be part of your team. So with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Josh to offer the Devar Torah.
Thank you, Meredith, for those kind words and inspiring words. I'm Josh Bender, the Bender JCC CEO. It's just so wonderful to see all of you gathered here together tonight. I want to start off by sharing some words that all of you have heard before. And they are, Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How wonderful is it to sit together among our community. These words have been meaningful to the Jewish people for generations. But after 14 months of distance, disruption, loneliness, and isolation, these words have particular resonance for us tonight as we sit here together. Since I started in December, there are some board members in the room tonight who I'm meeting tonight for the very first time. So this really is a special moment. And I know I'm better looking in person. What's funny, Rami? Tonight we acknowledge with gratitude the ability to gather in person, even in a small group. At our annual meeting with Board of Directors and past presidents, members of our Council of Advisors, and of course we also welcome and thank all of the members of the JCC who are with us virtually tonight. Next year, may we all be in person together. We are proud that the Bender JCC has been open through almost the entirety of the pandemic, both physically and virtually, reaching our members of all ages and of all generations. Despite operational challenges presented by the pandemic, and of course, there were many, many challenges, we were still able to carry out the holy work that we do here at the Bender JCC, the transformative work. Our preschoolers came to school, they were learning and growing, masking just part of the normal routine of their day. Just this morning and this afternoon, we celebrated our graduates, rising kindergartners and first graders who are preparing to make the next step of their educational journeys, and how wonderful it was to see all the parents and grandparents gathering around to celebrate. Our fitness center, our health and fitness center, has been open all year round, almost all through the pandemic. Our pools, our indoor pool, our outdoor pool, have both been respites for so many members through this difficult year. In fact, one member I passed just a couple weeks ago pulled me aside in all seriousness and looked at me in the eye and said, "Swimming in the outdoor pool this year saved me." Literally, and I heard that from many members who took advantage of the JCC and being open. We've had programs for senior adults and children and families in person throughout the year, also, of course, virtually, keeping everybody connected. We've also had an incredible opportunity this year to deepen our commitment to social action. As you were passing down the hall, you may have noticed that just next door we have these tables set up, and twice a month through the pandemic, we've been participating in a project called Delivering Good. We've partnered with Montgomery County Schools and Montgomery County Food Council to reach out to families in need throughout Montgomery County who are struggling with food insecurity. We brought volunteers, our staff came together, and the Montgomery County buses pulled up to our facility. I remember the first day, these 12 buses pulling up front. You're expecting children to come out. Instead, bus drivers jumped out to work with our staff and volunteers to load food onto the buses that was transported to these families who are in great need. And as of yesterday, we have served 1,500. We have prepared and delivered 1,500 family food packages through the pandemic. So something really for us to be very, very proud of. I can go on and on about our successes and how amazing it has been to sustain our community and the hard work of sustaining our community through the pandemic. But I also want to pause and just sort of be honest, and that is that aside from all of our successes, there was something fundamentally missing in our experience this year. The need to socially distance from one another, to isolate at home for many of us, to wear masks, to limit contact, just a handshake or a hug. And the anxiety and fear of the threat looming over us significantly altered the way we gathered and came together as a community, without a question. We also know that not everyone was able to make the leap into the virtual world, and even the people who were able to make the leap still had needs that were not fulfilled by the virtual connection, companionship, friendship, and just being together with other human beings. We also know that even as we begin to come out of the pandemic, God willing, to get back to or expand our in-person gatherings, that it will take time to readjust, to reconnect, and to heal. We don't just sort of flip a switch and go back. And as we come out of this most unusual and challenging time, the mission and purpose of the Bender JCC has never been more relevant and necessary. And this is illustrated by just today. I took a walk this afternoon around the facility, which I try to do every day. The pool was full of families swimming, children in the pool, parents. There were grandparents there, members on their own, just sort of sunbathing, enjoying the warm weather. We had a graduation going on. We had the fitness center full of people working out and exercising, and on and on and on. And we see that our community is still so relevant and necessary. And just in a few short days, we will be welcoming back the campers of Camp JCC. I am so excited for that first day, to stand out in front and to see those children dropped off here at the Bender JCC after not being here for close to 2 years. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How wonderful is it to gather together among community. Tonight, I want to challenge all of us to reflect on these words in a new way. Priya Parker, who wrote the book, The Art of Gathering, calls on us to reconsider the gatherings we plan and attend, from celebrations to meetings to dinner parties. Parker says we spend our lives gathering, and we spend much of that time in uninspiring, underwhelming moments that fail to capture us, change us in any way, or connect us to one another. She also talks about ritualized gatherings, gatherings that have been repeated so many times that we've become attached to the forms and structure of our gatherings, even though they may no longer reflect our values. So as we come out of this pandemic and get back to community, let us all re-examine how we want to come back and in what ways. What are the lessons that we will carry forward from our time spent at a distance? What have we learned about ourselves and our families and the type of community that we all want to be a part of? How can we deepen our connections and relationships? How can we inspire and be inspired? How can we help shape the culture and promote the values that we all care about? The core values of inclusiveness and respect, Jewish peoplehood, community, and caring for one another's physical and spiritual well-being, all values in the Bender JCC's mission statement. To do this, we must re-engage. To do this together, we must re-engage with new purpose as a community. We must do it in partnership with one another and with all the members of the Bender JCC. We want and we need to hear from our community, all of our members, the ones who have been active through the pandemic, the ones who are just returning, the ones who maybe were members at one time and left and are considering re-engaging in the Bender JCC. In what ways can we as the Bender JCC facilitate intentional and meaningful gatherings and experiences for you and your families? Perhaps bringing back the tried and true programs and experiences, but also navigating new waters as we shape our new normal together. Before I conclude my remarks, I want to thank our incredibly dedicated Herculean staff, each and every one of them. We had the opportunity to gather as a staff just this morning with a staff appreciation lunch to celebrate all of our accomplishments. We gave out 2 special staff awards. I want to say Mazel Tov again to Eliza Glatter and also Jennifer Wang for receiving 2 prestigious staff awards that were given out at our luncheon. I'd also like to call out a few of my colleagues tonight who have really been there through the entire unprecedented year of our pandemic, really holding up and supporting the JCC. When I call your name, please stand up and let's give them a round of applause. Treva Bastow. Treva's our Chief Marketing and Operations Officer. Susan Fisher is not here with us, but she's here on virtual. She's our Chief Programming Officer. Bill Grubb. Bill, are you with us? Bill's not, but Bill is our retiring Chief Financial Officer who really helped us manage through the financial challenges of the pandemic. Jody Schulemson. Jody is our Director of Individual and Corporate Giving, and I call her our advisor on all things JCC. I also want to welcome Sarah Feinberg, our new Chief Financial Administrative Officer, who joined the team, I guess, about 3 weeks ago now. Welcome to Sarah. And last but certainly not least, Maytal. Maytal is my assistant, but she's really all of our assistant. And we could not have done anything this year without you, Maytal, so thank you so much for everything. And I just want to say a few quick words to Heidi. Heidi, thank you so much for your support in helping me on board and adjust to life at the Bender JCC, and I wish you the best of luck in your next adventures, and please don't go too far. I also want to thank all of our board members, many who are here tonight, some are with us virtually, for the countless meetings and Zoom interactions that we've had this year. I want to thank our members, for the members who continued supporting us through the pandemic, our donors who continued supporting us with their time, advice, and resources. And in closing, I just want to wish all of us, I want to, may the coming days, weeks, months, and years be filled with peace, health, and gatherings that lift us up and inspire all of us. Hinei ma tov umanayim shebedachim gam yachad. How wonderful is it to gather among community. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to invite Heidi up to the podium.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm going to be very brief. I just want to say it's really such an incredible pleasure to be here with all of you in person, without masks, sharing this moment. It's been, to say the least, a very strange year, and it's going to take a long time to process everything that's happened. But I stand here feeling incredibly optimistic for this JCC because, first of all, we have a wonderful new CEO who has so much energy and passion for this place and has already hit the ground running in so many ways, and we're really grateful that in the middle of a pandemic, Josh Bender decided to join us. So thank you, Josh. And we have an incredible staff, which Josh has named, who have done really Herculean work when it was really looking so dark for so long, and showed up and were creative and came up with all kinds of ways to keep our JCC thriving. We have an amazing community of donors, a federation, past presidents, council of advisors, people who support us and care about this place for good reason. And if anything I've learned in this past year, it is the importance of community. It is the importance of having a place to be with people. And it's the importance of a strong Jewish community where you can drive by and see a new wall going up and say, oh my gosh, what's going on there? And this is a really amazing thing to have a strong community of Jewish people in the middle of Montgomery County. And I've also got to thank our board, because our board showed up in so many ways for so many hours and so many meetings to make sure that we were thinking through and covering every single possible thing that we needed to address to make sure that this JCC thrives and stays open. So I just wanted to acknowledge everybody and say thank you, and just say again, it is such a wonderful opportunity to be together. And I know that this next year and the year after that are going to be a lot brighter, and this JCC is going to thrive in no small part because of the work that happened when things were really dark and scary. So thank you to everybody. And that's really all I wanted to say. I think I have work to do. So, no, actually, you're up first. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Heidi. The Jewish Federation of Greater Washington plays a critical role at the center and really at the community at large. The Federation transforms shared resources into richer lives and stronger community. Aside from being a major partner and a source of funding for local Jewish agencies, the Federation supports Jews in Israel and throughout the world. And I am pleased to introduce Lexi Robbins, Director of Strategic Planning and Allocation of the Jewish Federation of Greater Washington. Lexi?
Thank you so much for having me here tonight on behalf of the Jewish Federation of Greater Washington. On a personal note, I'm also thrilled to be here as a mom of a kindergarten graduate today. And I have to say, it was really just such a blessing all year to have that class open, to be able to drop my daughter off, who would not have been successful on Zoom, in person here every morning at the carpool line. Truly, this JCC created a blessing for our family this year and was really a key to survival, and I don't say that lightly. And to say what a joy it was last Shabbat being at the pool, seeing friends who I haven't seen in a year, having our kids play outside, and really connecting with the community. I'm so proud to be a member here and so glad to be with you tonight. Our communal organizations and dedicated individuals have responded to one challenge after another brought on by the pandemic. The Bender JCC never let logistical hurdles get in the way of advocating for and providing support to people with disabilities. For decades, we have been the largest donor to the Bender JCC. When COVID struck, we knew that our partnership would be critical to keeping our community connected. Federation was honored to help make sure our community would continue benefiting from your crucial work, and we knew you would put our emergency grant of $500,000 to excellent and efficient use. You did just that, engaging our Jewish community in new and innovative ways through the height of the pandemic and beyond. Today, Federation continues to invest in fostering Greater Washington's Jewish community. We've all been shaken by concurrent crises, and our future depends on how we continue to strengthen and sustain the relationships that connect us. We are committed to helping to make sure that families with young children across Montgomery County have access to excellent early childhood care, summer camps, and day schools. We have now invested $1.2 million from Federation's Fund for Communal Vibrancy in scholarships and financial aid for families in Greater Washington to attend schools and summer camps and early childhood centers, and are so pleased that these efforts will help many Bender JCC preschool and Camp JCC families. We're incredibly proud that our J Family Ambassador program we launched together for Montgomery County has grown and thrived. Throughout the pandemic, these ambassadors were doing the incredible work reaching out to the families in our community to ensure they did not feel isolated or alone and find creative mechanisms to connect them to Jewish life. When you transformed the Wandering J to a mitzvah mobile, you took a challenging situation and pivoted in incredibly innovative ways. We're so proud to have partners who never missed a beat in connecting our community with opportunities to stay engaged and continue doing good for one another. Mazel tov to Josh on your first 6 months. I bet you never could say the JCC director started in this way. Thank you for being a continued partner. Thank you to the JCC team for making it through this incredible trying year under such grace and under pressure. Thank you to Heidi for your incredible work over the last year and your continued partnership. And Mazel tov to Dale, who I've known forever, on becoming president of the Bender JCC. Our community is excellent hands, and we are both grateful and proud to be your partners.
Thank you so much, Lexi. And I have to say, and I'm going to sound like one of those people I swore I would never sound like, Mazel tov on your kindergarten graduation. And as someone whose youngest just graduated college, enjoy every minute because it goes so fast. But But thank you, and thank you to Federation for your partnership. It is now my honor and pleasure to call on Heidi Brodsky, Board Chair, who will install the 2021-2022 Board of Directors.
Thank you, Meredith, and congratulations to all. Members of the Board of Directors give very freely of their time, energy, and resources to support the center. And directors are responsible for hiring the center's president and CEO, establishing its policies, overseeing its fiscal stability, and acting as ambassadors of the center throughout the community. Members of the nominating committee are responsible for identifying individuals who are willing and able to serve on our board of directors. It was my honor to serve with the following members of the 2021 nominating committee: Noam Fishman, Meredith Jacobs, Mark Corman, Wendy Morris, Rebecca Stallone, Rebecca Robbins, and Avi Hoffman. Thank you all for your time, effort, and careful consideration throughout the nomination process. I want to thank the following members of the Board of Directors who are concluding their term of service this evening: Mark Corman, Robin London, Adam Polsky, and Matthew Weinberg. Each of these dedicated individuals has made a significant contribution to the center and to our entire community. The following individuals have been elected to serve on the Board of Directors of the Bender JCC of Greater Washington beginning on July 1st. Please hold applause until all names have been announced. New board members nominated for a 3-year term: Steve Heitzner, Ann Kaiser, and Eric Klein. Board members renominated for a 3-year term: Daryl Bobb and Jennifer Lavenbuck. By the powers vested in me under the bylaws of the Bender JCC of Greater Washington, you are hereby installed as members of the Board of Directors. Congratulations. I trust you will find your board service both rewarding and meaningful. It is now my great pleasure to install the following dedicated individuals as officers of the Bender JCC of Greater Washington. Each of them cares deeply about our community and is willing to accept this great responsibility incumbent upon our volunteer leadership. First and foremost, Board Chair Dale Singer. Treasurer Bruce Weiner. Assistant Treasurer Barry Kaplan. Secretary Daryl Bobb. General Counsel Noam Fishman. And Ombudsperson Rami Kandel. Thank you all. By the powers vested in me under the bylaws of the Bender JCC of Greater Washington, you are hereby installed as officers of the Board of Directors. Mazel tov to all of our incoming and continuing leaders. Meredith?
Thank you, and congratulations to our incoming board members, and a heartfelt farewell and thank you to everyone who is rolling off the board. I would like to introduce my friend Dale Singer, incoming chair of the Bender JCC Board of Directors.
Thank you, Meredith. Good evening, everybody. It's so wonderful to see so many of you in person at the Bender JCC after more than 1 year of seeing one another on screens from our homes and offices, and welcome to all of you who are joining us remotely. Let's hope that we have turned the corner and are able to once again be the town square where we bring together diverse members of our community. During our board meeting last week, we reflected on what we learned during the past year, and several words captured our experiences. Resilience and commitment stood out. Our board continued to engage with one another through Zoom and supported the JCC programs and services throughout an incredibly challenging year. I don't want to dwell on the past. However, surviving the pandemic was no small feat. Each of our core business units was hit especially hard by restrictions implemented during the COVID shutdown. Revenues from camp, preschool, and the fitness center were down significantly, and the normal hustle and bustle that is heard throughout the building became a deafening silence. Thanks to support from generous donors and the federal government in the form of the Payroll Protection Program, we were able to maintain a reduced workforce and pivot to offer virtual programs. on behalf of the volunteer leadership of the center, I am grateful for the hard work, dedication, and commitment of our Bender JCC staff members during a year fraught with unimaginable hurdles. Each of our core business units have bounced back. While not at pre-COVID capacity, our camp and preschool are well subscribed. New members are joining the fitness center, and existing members are returning. There is a buzz in the air on the corner of Montrose Road and East Jefferson Street, and it's not just the cicadas. Folks feel safe when they come into our building and see how we are taking care of our facility. In the midst of the pandemic, we conducted a search, hired, and welcomed our new CEO, Josh Bender. As we all know, he's no relation to the Bender family for whom the JCC is named. Josh hit the ground running when he began last December and has hired a new chief financial and administrative officer and will be bringing on other staff to round out the center's senior management team. Working with the staff, Josh found creative ways to use the JCC's outdoor spaces during COVID, including exercise classes, movie nights, and paint and sip nights. Josh oversaw the construction of our new climbing tower, which we can all see from the road, and will get lots of use this summer by our campers, and will also be a revenue-generating opportunity for birthday party rentals. In addition, we have exciting plans for expanding the use of our fields. Stay tuned for more news about that in the coming year. I am humbled and honored to become the next board chair of the Bender JCC of Greater Washington. I stand on the shoulders of previous board chairs, some of whom have joined us tonight, who have worked tirelessly to build programs and services to ensure that our center is truly a beacon for our community. Like many of you, I also have a JCC story. I grew up at the Pittsburgh JCC. I could walk there from my home and school to hang out with my friends and attend programs. And I also went to the JCC Swim Club in the summers, which was in the Pittsburgh suburbs. The JCC was always a welcoming, safe place for me to go. So of course, I wanted my kids to have a similar experience. Michelle and Josh, who are here tonight, attended JDS and walked across the street after school to participate in karate, art, and dance classes. As a working mom, I was grateful they had a safe place to go after school to do their homework, enjoy programs, and socialize with their friends. They also participated in the Maccabi Games for several summers, which not only brought them fulfillment, but my husband and I also benefited from these experiences since we traveled to Detroit, Houston, and Westchester to participate in the opening ceremonies and cheer them on at their games. As my kids got older, I became involved in the Bender JCC Arts and Culture programs and chaired the book festival, which ultimately led to me joining the board. I am so proud of all the programs and services our JCC provides to our diverse community of communities. The future is bright and full of possibilities for us to soar. I am excited about the year ahead and working with our board, committees, staff, donors, and collaborators in other organizations to continue fulfilling our mission. The Bender JCC cultivates communities in a warm and inclusive environment to celebrate Jewish life and values. As I embark on this journey as the next Bender JCC board chair, I thank you for your trust in me and appreciate your support. Over the past year, I have had the privilege to work side by side, mostly virtually, with Heidi Brodsky. She has been an amazing mentor and friend, demonstrating leadership and grace throughout a challenging year of transition. While her official role on the board is concluding, I know I can count on her to continue to provide advice and counsel whenever I call on her. Heidi, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, commitment, and passion for our Bender JCC. I know you didn't want a lot of fanfare, but can you please come up here because we do have something for you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Again, my thanks to all of you. Thank you, Meredith, for chairing this lovely evening, and I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thank you, Dale, and it's been fun chairing. I heard, Chris Harrison just left The Bachelor. Maybe I'll give him a call and do that. But seriously, Heidi, I just want to add something personally. And I've said this before, but I know how hard this has been, not only leading through COVID, but so much more. And you have been inspiring. And in times that are hard, it calls for great leaders to step up. And when you were called, you said, Hineni, here I am. And on behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, we are forever grateful. And Dale, I can't wait to see what you do. We are going to have so much fun. And I know your vision and leadership will take us wherever we're meant to go following this year. And I'm so excited for you and Mazel Tov. I want to congratulate all of our incoming board and officers, and truly, again, a heartfelt farewell to everyone who is leaving, and just know we know where to find you. So don't go too far, and we hope that you'll stay involved. Thank you again to our incredible staff. This has been an unbelievable year. I know how hard you have all worked and under the kind of conditions, and just thank you. And here's to a summer that's fun and joyous and a little bit easier, and we can go back to really looking forward and planning for an exciting future. This has been a wonderful evening. Thank you all for being here, whether in person or virtually. The 2021 annual meeting of the Bender JCC of Greater Washington is now adjourned. Thank you for joining us, and good night.